Dial H for Hero issue 4. Sam Humphries writing with Joe Quinones on the art. And Miguel and Summer are at Justice League Detroit, which is full of robots, which Batman's programmed, and Snapper Carr, who's just kind of hanging around, being useless. So...
So being Snapper Carr.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Being Snapper Carr.
That's the issue. It's just that, just the Detroit team, big robots of them, big bulky robots, and then Snapper Carr.
And then Snapper Carr, yes.
That's why I like what they did with him on Supergirl, is they gave him an actual character. He's not just the hanger-on of the Justice League.
Yeah.
So
yeah. The reason it says in this, the reason that we're going with at the minute is he felt out of place, because he was the normal guy amongst the Justice League. So
he's Rick Jones.
So he snapped. So he had a thing.
Yeah, the thing.
Like he had a thing, like the rest of the team.
His thing was snapping. It was his superpower, yes.
Yeah.
So Snapper wants the phone. He wants to dial, and they're like, "No, every adult that's used it's turned into this obsessed maniac who's trying to, take it from us because they're part of the Thunderbolt Club and yada yada yada." And we see Robbie Reed in the hero verse, kind of like just being mopey. And hoping that nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
But Captain Thunderbolt, his spirit's still going around, and he actually manipulates the robots in the Justice League Detroit building to basically see Miguel and Summer as threats, as psychic threats. And
so starts coming to attack them. So you have the robot Justice League Detroit attacking the three of them.
Yep. So they go on the run, and of course they try and get out of this. Like, well, we're going to have to dial. And it's like, no, I'm going to dial. No, I'm going to dial. So all three of them dial at the same time, and we get three heroes. We get Chim Change, which is kind of like a Hulk, but instead of turning into a Hulk, she turns into a big chimp.
It's very like a noir style thing as well.
Yeah, the art style in her is very noir. Well, this is one of the things that impressed me here, is you get all three of them on the same page, but each one's drawn in their own style. So you get her in the noir, black and white with just a touch of red, high contrast. Then you get...
It's very like Sin City.
Yeah. And then you get the Snapper Cars. He's the alien ice cream man, who has a very... What would you call that style, actually?
That's a good question.
It's the sort of thing I expect like a Transformers comic from the 80s to be drawn in. But I don't...
kind of like a blocky manga kind of style.
Kinda.
No?
They're not blocky. I wouldn't say it's blocky, but just the line and the colouring. I don't know. Something about it. And then you've got Miguel, who turns into a little Miguelito, who's just a kid with a cape on with no pants. And he's upset that he has no pants. So, and then the next page is
so dumb. I kind of love it.
Yeah. So the next page is actually really fun because it's like they've got like a diagonal rip down the page, and the top half that you only see some of is the origin of Chimp Change. And then the bottom half of the rip is ice cream.
Alien ice cream man.
Alien ice cream man. Yes, he's from a different planet. He's taking power of the sweet soft scoop.
Yeah, so he comes down in a big ice cream ship and says, "Don't be afraid. I proclaim a golden age of soft serve."
Yeah, soft serve. Yes. Yeah, so that's again really nice contrast in the art styles, and then Lil Miguito's art style is kind of like a children's like storybook. That's kind of what he looks like.
And it's great. What do you mean your clothes belong in the spaceship, and the spaceship's the washing machine?
Yeah, which bizarrely, I just recorded an episode of the Atomic Cinema Experiment called Rocket Man, not the Elton John thing, and it starts with a kid in his flashback in the dryer pretending that he's in like a spaceship, and he's got like a photo of the Earth outside it to make him feel like he's in a spaceship.
Brilliant.
Just a weird coincidence that happens to be this week with this book. So Miguel's not happy, so he keeps trying. He complains that his legs are cold, that he feels embarrassed, and he tries to dial the thing again, whilst the others are fighting. Which looks great, by the way. All the action here looks great with them fighting the robots. It turns into the black and white Stark Noir style with bullets. Little Miguito turns into like a little Viking version of Little Miguito.
He's still Little Miguelito, but just with different costumes.
Yeah, that's basically what he is. He's got like a beard. He's a little Viking. And he tries it again, and what's this next one he turns into? Where are we? And then he's like he's got like a mustache.
Kind of a mishmash because he's still got like the Viking horn helmet and
But he's got like a
the
Hawaiian. What do you call the Hawaiian skirts, Matt? You'll know.
There's a hula skirt.
Hula skirt, yeah.
no,
Yeah,
that's
skirt.
still from the Viking outfit.
Is it?
Yeah, go back.
It's like a sarong.
Yeah,
Oh
No,
yeah,
that's-
right. No,
it's
it's still his
still one from the
Viking thing.
yeah.
Oh.
But he's got the cape back on. Or does he have the cape before? I can't remember. But yeah, either way, it just keeps changing. through a couple
Yeah,
of
his hair's
things.
changed.
He's a little Cyclops. He's got he
Yeah.
actually has one eye that we see, but he also has like Marvel's Cyclops visor as well.
Yes. But then this is when Thunderbolt shows up and says, "Hey, I can help you if you just dial S." Basically, if you dial S, I can
Yeah.
help you.
S for Soccer McGee.
Soccer McGee, yes. Which, unfortunately for him, lets Thunderbolt out, and Thunderbolt's back out in the real world. So Little Miguel has caused a disaster. So the issue ends with Thunderbolt escaping into a portal, and Miguel says, "You know what? No, I'm not. I can't face Superman having failed like this and brought this villain into the world." So he dives into the portal after him. So we end the book with him going through the portal in the Heroverse as the others are left behind in shock.
Yeah. Something a little bit of dialogue we should point out is Snapper's like, hey, I've used one of them before in reference to the hero dials, implying okay, there's more than one.
Yeah, that's true. Also worth mentioning. So as soon as Thunderbolt showed up, they all went back to normal. All their powers went away, and the costumes went away.
One of my favorite lines was Snapper being like, "Hey, be careful with that thing. You might cause an 8th crisis."
Yeah, I like that line actually as well. Dear. No, this was delightful again, and this was probably the most focused issue because they were all in one location. Because usually they've been traveling around a lot in the previous issues. But no, I love this book. I am so glad that this is been extended to 12.
Yeah,
very pleased by that fact.
Yeah, this
now does it feel like the first, it's gonna be like 2 arcs, like this arc starting to get wrapped up, or does it feel like
well, it's hard because
he's just gonna continue it?
Because this is issue 4, so it's hard to tell at this point. This is definitely kind of the big thing at the end of issue 4. I can definitely see it sort of wrapping up an arc at issue 6 and then starting a new one.
I feel like this is going to end with the Thunderbolt thing, or at least to a point here, because let's say he dives in after it, he's going to confront it so that he doesn't disappoint Superman, right? So that does feel like ramping up towards the end of the story, going into the last third. It does kind of feel like that point.
And we're definitely seeing a Superman appearance, but at either the end of the first arc or the end of the book total.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
We're seeing him meet Superman. It's totally happening. No, I want to commend the art a lot because it does this thing where it changes styles, and they're so different in like, not even similar. Like the noir one for the chimp change versus the Ice Cream Man. Like they're so completely different, both in coloring and line work and styles. And the book's been doing that all the way through with its origins for the characters that. But
it just
created.
Works so well, doesn't it? They managed to blend it well, even when because they're against the standard, let's say, house style for the book, right? Which is the default stuff before it changes, and then you have like these 3 characters all on the same page appearing in their own styles, but still like pasted onto the backdrop of the regular style for the world around them, which should just feel out of place and wrong, but it somehow works.
No, it works. It's a example of concept meeting the just meeting the artistic kind of like ambition, right? Where they've got this weird wacky idea, but the concept actually justifies it.
It's the sort of thing where if you told me there was 4 artists in this book, I'd believe it and understand why. And the fact that there's only 1 is much more impressive.
Mm-hmm. Normally
really
we complain when like 2 different artists try to look the same so they don't feel jarring, but here we're actually giving this guy credit for looking as different as possible.
Right, because if you told me, oh, we're going to use 3 different artists to get all these different styles, I'd be like, sure, that makes complete sense in context of what you're doing with this book.
Shazam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but here it would have made sense. You go, all right, different artists for a different style. The fact that it's one guy doing all of them is much more impressive.
Yeah, that is. What are you rating it?
I'm giving it 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. 8.5. It's really good.